Distance Education Center and PLAR Geography. So we're into our second class for this week, and it is week 6, and today is Thursday, October 10th. So just a reminder to students that we do not have classes on Monday. So that's Monday, October 14th, to observe Thanksgiving. So hopefully you have a good weekend for this weekend. Not sure what the weather is going to be like, but for those of you that are participating in the hunt, hopefully you'll be successful. Okay, IL courses, you can still register again anytime. So it began September 3rd, 2024. You can register anytime after that to June 13th, 2025. However, you have to complete the course on or before June 13th, or if you're working on your courses in term 3, it has to be finished by August 22nd. Students are encouraged to call their teacher, so if you register for a course or courses, make sure that you're contacting your teacher or your marker for assistance at 1-800-667-3703. And IL students can also expect regular telephone calls from the teacher or tutor marker of the course or courses that you register for. So a reminder that there will be prize draws for registered students and their DEC, so make sure you stay tuned for updates on what the prizes will be. We will also continue to do end of term draws for students who submit work. So if you submit work, your name will be entered. If you earn a credit, your name will be entered as well. So 4 terms, 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B. That's when we'll be doing the end of term draws. For travel, I mentioned to you on Tuesday, that I will be traveling to Mishkigugamang. So it looks like it will be Bonnie, myself, and Doug. So if you're listening and you will be in Mish on that day, so Thursday, October 17th, make sure that you pop over at the Learning Center to say hello, or if you need help with your course work. PLAR students, if you're still unsure about trying the culminating instead of the key questions, feel free to ask for a sample test to review the format of the culminating activity. So you can contact me for the PLAR History, Geography, and Science, or you can contact Bonnie for the PLAR English and the PLAR Math. Remember, this is new for this year. You have the option of completing an open book culminating activity instead of doing the key questions in the lesson. So even if you started a lesson in PLAR History or PLAR Geography or any of the components that you need for your junior PLAR, even if you have already completed the lesson and feel that, you know what, I can just do the culminating, try it anyway. The culminating activity can be emailed to the DEC, or I can email it to you. Remember, supervision is not required, so you do not have to do it at the Learning Center. You can take the culminating activity home so you can complete it. Successful students, that's students who get 50% and above. So that's the passing mark, 50% and above. So once you receive your equivalent credits, then you can proceed to the senior PLAR and then work on your senior credits. If the culminating activity is not passed, so if you're not successful, then the key questions in the lessons can be completed. And then you can retake the culminating activity. And students are permitted several attempts to pass the culminating activity. If you do the option where you want to do the key questions, make sure that you look at the cover page of the study guide. So there's one for PLAR Geography, very similar to the PLAR History. It will give you all the information that you need to get a hold of me or anyone at the office. The WASA studio number is there. The radio channel, 91.9 FM, so you can listen to it locally. Television, if you have Bell Express View, it's on channel 972. The Zoom link, meeting ID and passcode for my classes are on that page. The office number, the fax number, my email, also my Facebook and YouTube profile name, they are the same, just to make it easier. So it's J. Mercer Wasa. You can message me on Messenger if you need help with your schoolwork or if you have any concerns or questions. Those are repeated on the front page of the Lesson 1 PLAR Geography and Lesson 2 of PLAR Geography. If you're unable to make it to the classes, so if you're unable to get on Zoom, or if you're unable to listen, you can also view the classes of the broadcasted classes, so for PLAR Science, PLAR History, Geography, on my YouTube channel. You can go to my playlist. You'll see that PLAR Science is there, PLAR Geography, and PLAR History. However, after Term 1B, so after I do the PLAR Science, or actually during Term 1B, I should say. So during Term 1B, my classes for PLAR Science will be uploaded to our WASA Distance Education YouTube channel. So that means I will be deleting that profile on YouTube, because all of our classes will be on the WASA Distance Education Center. You just have to go to that website, or I'll show you. Again, go to the playlist. You will see that everything will be there. So you just go to one link and you can find the PLAR Geography, you can find the ENG 4C, you can find the PLAR English, PLAR History, MAP 4C, and OLC 4.0. Makes it easier for you to go to one place, and then you can choose which class and which lesson you want to listen. Okay, so hopefully that will be beneficial for you. So the Term 1A classes are on there. And as I mentioned, each course will have its own playlist where the broadcasted lessons can be accessed. When you check it out, make sure that you click the subscribe button. And the reason that it makes it easier, if you subscribe to it, anytime a class has been added, it will notify you. If you don't want to do that, so for example, if you don't have internet access or Wi-Fi, you can still request a USB of classes. What we'll do then is we download the classes on a flash drive, and then you can click open the lesson and then listen or view the classes. So in this case, the classes are named PLAR Geography, then the lesson, and then the key questions. Students who want or need an NEC Schools email, all you have to do is let us know. If you forget your password, I can reset it. Or if you are unable to get on your email, let me know. The first thing you need to do is, when you're trying to get in there, sign out of all accounts. You might not notice it, but you might be signed in with a different account, and that's why you cannot get in there. So sign out and then put in your email. Your email consists of your first name. So let's say if it's Bob, so first, last name. So if it's Smith, so Bob.Smith, month. Now the month is done, sorry, should be day. So if it's 23, month is 12, so that means that Bob.Smith 2312, so that means it's December 23, then at nnecschools.org. So this is how the emails are created. So make sure you double check that your birthday is correct. And then that's what you will put in to sign into your account. Okay, so your first name, your last name, the day of your birthday, and the month at nnecschools.org. And then once you do that, you can access your G Suite account. When you're ready to submit your culminating or your key questions, whichever option you're doing, make sure that you put your name on your work. Then you can scan your work for marking, whether you use your iPhone Notes app. You can email or send it through Messenger. You can take a picture of it and send it through Facebook Messenger as well. Or you can send it to me when you send it. You can email it to the teacher that's marking your work. So jmercer@nnec.on.ca. You can use your Google Classroom, or you can also share your document with your teacher. To share your document, so if you're working on it on your Google Docs, click the share button. When you click that share button, then it will open a little box or a little window to put the email in. So in that case, you will put my email address on there. If it's for PLAR Math or PLAR English, you put in Bonnie's email, and then it will share the lesson key questions that you're sending out. Another option is have your DEC scan it and fax it for you, or if you're around town, you can drop it off at the WASA office, that's 74 Front Street. And we still have the WASA outdoor mailbox. Just make sure you put your name on your work. And again, if you have other concerns or questions, make sure that you contact the office or myself. So we will finish, hopefully, with human geography in this class. If not, we will continue next week. From our last class, we finished up to key question 6. So this is the mark sheet that you will receive. So make sure you submit your work as you complete them. Again, these are for people who are opting to do the key questions. Make sure you don't hesitate to reach out to me. And again, this is the one that you'll receive once your work is marked. So if you're on track, you should have completed key questions 1 to 6 from our last class. There are 31 key questions for PLAR geography. Okay, from Tuesday's class, we did the concepts of geographical thinking. We started exploring human geography, economic geography, North American Free Trade Agreement. So the acronym for that is NAFTA, and trade and human rights. So we finished up to page 8. Today we will look at industry sectors, so primary, secondary, and the service sector. Also industry specifically in Ontario, and specifically in Ontario, examples of the types of industries, so primary, secondary, and tertiary. If we have time, we will start with urban geography, military geography, and then finish up with the Commonwealth of Nations. Okay, so first of all, let's finish up the key question from our Tuesday's class. So remember, when you're doing the PLAR Geography Lesson 1 and Key Questions 1 to 13, just use the provided information along with your own knowledge, along with what you know and what you have experienced. Okay, you do not need to use the internet or Wi-Fi to look up answers. When you're sending in the key questions, you only need to send pages 20 to 22 of Lesson 1 for marking. That means you don't need to send the other pages. Use that for your information, for reviewing. So this is what it looks like. Use this as your checklist. So it shows you there are 13 key questions. Each key question has a topic, and then each key question also has a total mark. So we got as far as key question 6. On Tuesday, we want to finish key question 7, which says WTO organization. Remember, there are support questions in the booklet or in the lesson. These are just for practice. The answers are at the end of this lesson. Remember, do not submit them for marking. So key question 7, what does WTO stand for? So you simply write WTO stands for. So again, this is one of those key questions that are a hand question. You can put your hand or finger on the answer. And then it says, what does this organization do? Okay, what is it responsible for? So this organization and then write your response. So that's key question 7. Okay, let's continue on with industry sectors. So there are 3 types. There's the primary sector, and this sector is all about collecting natural resources and turning them into basic products. So examples for jobs like the primary sector would be farming, so that's agriculture, fishing, so cutting down trees like forestry, and mining for minerals. So you can see a picture here where they're trying to get oil. So when you harvest raw materials like steel, wood, and lumber, or natural resources like soil, minerals, animals, water, and you turn them into primary products. Okay, and then the next one is secondary. Oops. Okay, that one we missed. Okay, so this one should say secondary. So secondary sector, it has the wrong description, but it has the right pictures. So I'll just take that out. Okay, the secondary sector of the economy. So if you turn to page 10 of your book. Oops. The secondary sector turns the primary products into manufactured goods. So if you're looking at the picture, you can see that that's a factory. They are assembling cars. So what it does is it takes the goods from the primary industry and manufactures goods to be used by consumers. Now, these businesses usually have large factories. Again, if you're looking at the picture on the slide, okay, you could see that that's a big factory where they manufacture vehicles. And they require energy to create the products and often have waste materials. So other examples in this sector includes furniture manufacturers, canning, ethanol plants, and another example we can use are fish canneries. So that's the secondary sector. The tertiary sector is also called the service industry. So if you don't want to use the word tertiary, you can use the word service industry. And this focuses on providing services rather than making products. It supports both the primary and secondary industries, and this is what employs the most Canadians, 3 times more than the other 2 sectors combined. So most of these jobs, you can find them in cities or places with lots of people because they're providing services to both the people and businesses in those areas. For example, servers at restaurants, okay, they're providing service. Transportation, so think of buses, taxis, banking, energy, communications, and entertainment. Again, most Canadians work in this sector. One important service that is essential to society is energy production. One type is nuclear energy. This is made by heating water with uranium to create steam, which is then turned into electricity. In Ontario, we have a major nuclear power plant, which is the Bruce Nuclear Plant, and that's located in southwestern Ontario. There's also hydroelectric energy. Now, hydroelectric energy is created by using the power of fast-moving water to generate or make electricity. And an example of that is the Sir Adam Beck plant. One way to think of the service sector or the tertiary sector is that when you think about services, services are non-physical products that cannot be touched or stored. So for example, getting your hair cut, or if you're taking a trip. So if you took the plane or the bus or so train, bus, or a vehicle. Okay, it's something that you use. Communication services, this includes internet, phones, and TV and radio broadcasting. So these services keep our world connected, and it allows us to learn about events that are happening on the other side of the globe instantly. Okay, a Canadian writer named Marshall McLuhan, he predicted that the world would become closely connected through electronic communication, and he called it the global village. The internet is helping make this idea a reality. Unfortunately, he didn't live long enough to see the internet being used by the public. Some businesses also operate in more than one country, and these are what you call multinational corporations. What they do is they have a main office in one country, but can have many factories or other operations in different countries. This allows them to meet their needs in different places, and then they can easily ship products to other locations. Examples of multinational corporations are Microsoft and General Motors, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Honda, Adidas, Samsung, Sony, Nike. Okay, lots of examples of multinational corporations. So I said before there were 3 sectors, but we should add the quaternary industries. Okay, these are part of the economy that focus on knowledge and information. This sector deals with research, technology, and information services. So people who work in this sector, they usually use their skills and knowledge to help solve problems, develop new ideas, or manage data. Examples of quaternary industries include technology companies, so this is like computer programming or software development, research and development, such as scientific research labs. So if you think back when COVID happened in 2020, this was specifically used. Many vaccines take 10 to 15 years to reach the public, but with the COVID, with the pandemic, by March 16, 2020, this vaccine had entered the first phase of clinical trials. And then by the end of that year, December 18th, or close to the end of that year, after demonstrating 94% efficacy, the NIH Moderna vaccine was authorized by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for emergency use. So you can see how this sector is very important. Education is also another example of a quaternary industry. So university is an example, colleges, media such as journalism or online content creation, these also fall under that industry. So this sector is important because it helps drive innovation and progress in society. Okay, let's look at key questions 8 to 10 on page 21. So key question 8, what is secondary industry? So notice how this question is broken up into 2 parts, because the second part says give 2 examples of secondary industry. So first you have to tell me what secondary industry means. And again, it's a hand question. You can put your hand on the answer. Give 2 examples of secondary industry. So write 2 examples are, and then write them down. Okay, let's look at the different industries in Ontario. So primary industries. In Ontario, there's mining. So Ontario is Canada's top producer of metals, with more than 25 different metal and non-metal minerals. Stone from Ontario was used to construct the Ontario Legislature, the Federal Parliament buildings in Ottawa, and the Canadian Embassy in Washington, D.C. The rocks of the Canadian Shield cover 2/3 of Ontario and contain many minerals. Ontario is one of the world's top 10 producers of nickel and platinum group metals. It also produces gold, copper, zinc, cobalt, and silver. So thinking about mines in northwestern Ontario, we often have more than one type of ore. So ore just means mineral, but focus on a single main ore like gold at Gold Core's Musselwhite and Red Lake mines. Amethyst, which is a purple gemstone, that is found along Lake Superior's North Shore near Thunder Bay, as well as in Bancroft and North Bay. So if you're traveling along those areas, you will notice that if you go to the stores, you can get souvenirs, and amethyst is one of the ones that they sell. The Ring of Fire is a planned project in the St. James Bay lowlands to develop chromite. That's used in making stainless steel and tool steels. On the bottom of the slide, you can see where the Ring of Fire is located. Notice the communities surrounding it, Webakwe, Neskatanga, Fort Hope. You can see where Musselwhite Mine is located. It's north of Pickle Lake. Okay, it's near Mish. Forestry in Ontario, about 66% of Ontario is covered by forest. So the wood from these forests is used to make things like building materials, paper, and other products like furniture and flooring. Ontario's forests are very important to the province's economy because it provides nearly 200,000 direct and indirect jobs in 260 communities. If you're wondering what types of jobs, well, it includes working in logging, sawmills, paper mills, manufacturing plants that make things like tables, chairs, and hardwood floors. So these forests also provide materials for everyday items like paper, tissue, and even packaging for food. You can see a picture here which may be familiar when you're driving on Highway 17 or Highway 72. You can see the logging trucks carrying or transporting wood. For agriculture, Ontario has more than half of the best farmland in Canada. Over 50,000 farms in Ontario, and they grow a variety of crops and raising animals. Fruit crops that grow in Ontario include grapes, used for making wine, apples, berries, and tender fruits like peaches and cherries. For vegetables, you get carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, and peppers. They're also produced in Ontario. Cash crops grown by farmers include soybeans, corn that's used for animal feed and biofuels, mixed grains, forage crops. So these are used to give animals. Okay, they are turned into hay, wheat that's used in bread, and barley. Ontario has many commercial farms that raise poultry. So think of chickens for meat and eggs, pigs, dairy cows for milk, and beef cattle for meat. Farmers also grow flowers and ornamental plants for landscaping, gardens, and decorating homes. So if you're in the grocery store or if you're shopping in the market, you may see, so this one says Good Leaf, and it's selling pea shoots. Notice the company that sells this is Foodland. And OFA, that stands for Ontario Federation of Agriculture. So that's the picture there that's on the right-hand side of the screen. Secondary industries for Ontario, there's manufacturing. So Ontario has important manufacturing industries such as cars, information and communication technology. Examples, computers, phones, biotech, that helps make medicines, pharmaceuticals and medical devices like x-ray machines and medical tools. In northwestern Ontario, so around our area, there are other types of manufacturing like the pulp and paper industry. This makes products like paper and cardboard. Now, this industry has changed a lot in the past 20 years. As you know, the Domtar mill in Dryden, they used to make paper but doesn't anymore. In 2014, Resolute Forest Products closed its pulp and paper mill in Fort Frances permanently. So you can see how the industry has shifted in that region. Kenora's natural resources have attracted big investments like Weyerhaeuser's Timberstrand plant. That's the largest of its kind in North America. This plant makes engineered wood products that are stronger and more flexible than regular wood, and it's used for building houses and other structures. Kenora also has a softwood lumber mill called Kenora Forest Products, and they make wood used in construction and furniture. Other businesses in the area include custom sawmills, so this cuts and prepares wood. You have companies that make building materials. You have furniture manufacturers, and businesses that manage forest timber for sustainable use. Okay, finally, tertiary industries or service industries in Ontario. The big one is tourism. This is very important to the economy of northwestern Ontario. Many people come from all over Canada and the United States for outdoor activities like hunting and fishing. You may see this between May and before Labor Day. You see lots of fishing happening, and you see tourists. You can see by the license plates, a lot of them are coming from the States. Another popular attraction is Science North. Now, this is a major science center. Lisa MacLeod, the Minister of Heritage, Sport, Tourism and Culture Industry, said that Science North is one of our top tourist spots and an important cultural place where people of all ages can explore the amazing world of science. So this is what she said. So Science North is expanding its presence to Kenora and Thunder Bay, and its programs will reach over 80,000 people every year in northwestern Ontario. Visitors will be able to enjoy fun, hands-on science activities and experiences. So there's a couple of pictures there to show tourism in our area. So the one on the left is the Science North. This one is in Kenora. And then on the right-hand side, you can see Sioux Lookout Floating Lodges. Okay, that's one of the tourist businesses here in Sioux Lookout. Service industry, well, the service sector is the biggest part of Ontario's economy, and it provides jobs for almost 80% of the people in the province. This sector includes things like business and financial services, so think about banks and accounting firms, professional and scientific technical services, so you may have engineers, IT specialists, researchers, and then arts and culture. This includes jobs in museums, theaters, and music. In Sioux Lookout, our service sector is especially important because it makes up 68% of the jobs. Many people in town work in healthcare, so you can see the picture here on the bottom. That's the Sioux Lookout Minnehawen Health Center. Education, so think about the schools here, government services, and tourism. All of these help to support the community. So if you want to check out this link, this is on your, the link is given to you on page 13. Okay, I won't be showing this in class, but you can check it out yourself. This is a short video, and it explains the difference between the primary, secondary, and service sectors of the economy. Okay, now we can do the rest of key questions 9 and 10, because we did 8 already. Okay, key question 9. So this one is asking you, what is tertiary industry? So remember I said that you can use the word tertiary, or if you want, you can use the word service. So tell me what that is first. So you can even say tertiary industry or service industry. Tell me what it means. Give 2 examples of tertiary industry. So 2 examples are, okay, the next one, key question 10. It says identify and describe 2 types of industry found in or near your home or where you live. So in my case, I'm in Sioux Lookout. So I'm going to identify and then describe the two types of industry that's found in Sioux Lookout. So depending on where you live, or maybe you're traveling somewhere, so you can just use near your home or just where you are right now. Okay, I just want to know if you know the two types of industry that's around you. Then you need to tell me what kind of industry it is. So is it a primary industry, a secondary industry, or tertiary? For example, for myself, I can say that we have a tertiary industry. And that would be Giant Tiger. So it could be Giant Tiger, Red Apple, Fresh Market. Okay, these all provide a service. So you can get clothing, you can get food, and so on. Same thing for CIBC Bank, or any bank that's in Sioux Lookout. So banking. So these all fall under tertiary. Do we have primary here or secondary? Remember, primary, you're using natural resources. Well, the closest I could think of when we looked at the map, maybe Musselwhite. Okay, and that's mining. We don't have any factories here near me, so I won't be putting those down. Okay, so just two types of industries that's found in or near your home or where you live. If you don't have two types, so maybe you just have tertiary industry or service industries, then that's all you put down. Okay, next up, let's look at urban geography. So urban geography is the study of how cities have grown and changed over time. So it looks at things like how cities are built, how people are spread out within them, and the problems that the cities face, like pollution or traffic. Now, as cities get bigger, then issues can come up, like losing valuable farmland because the city needs space to grow. So for example, if you cut down trees so you can build housing, or maybe they're building stores or parking lots. That's what that means. Another important idea is the ecological footprint. That is the amount of land and resources needed to support the lifestyle of a person, or the lifestyle of a country or business. So for example, the more energy, food, and materials we use, the bigger our ecological footprint becomes. And that can put pressure on the environment and lead to problems like deforestation or pollution. Larger cities tend to produce more products, which can lead to increased pollution. An example would be factories in big cities. They often release waste into the air and water. Okay, as more people want to move to a big city for jobs and opportunities, the demand for land goes up, causing land prices to rise. This can make it hard for some people to afford housing. With more residents in the city, there will be also more waste generated. So the more people you have, the more people throwing garbage or needing to dispose of their garbage, such as food scraps, plastic, and other garbage. So here's an example. A busy city can produce tons of waste every day, which can overwhelm landfills and create litter problems. So all these challenges comes up as the city expands. So to address these issues, careful planning is needed. This might include creating better waste management systems, developing green spaces, and just making sure that there are enough affordable housing options for everyone. So you can see some pictures of people needing a place to put their garbage. There you have air pollution coming from factories. Here's an interesting for Silicate population back in 2016, the population was 5,272. In 2021, you got 5,839. So you can see there's an increase, and probably more in 2024. You've seen a lot more businesses here and housing developing or development. So the population of a city, province, or country depends on the number of births, deaths, and people moving in or out. Okay, that's what population means. So if there's the number of births, the number of people who pass away, and then people who are moving in or out. So if you have more people coming in and less people moving out, then you might find that finding housing will be a challenge. Canada has a slowly growing population because Canadians tend to have fewer children and live longer due to a high quality of life. A significant number of Canadians are over the age of 65, so healthcare is very important in the country. People aged 65 and older, as well as those under 14, are not part of the workforce, meaning that they rely on others for healthcare and education. This group of people who depend on the working population is known as the dependency load. So you have two main groups of dependency load. You have the older adults and the young children. So older adults, for example, could be a retired grandparent who is 70 years old and relies on family members or the government for health care and support. Okay, they're part of the dependency load. So they may need assistance with daily activities or medical care. So older adults who are not working anymore, so retired. Young children, a 5-year-old child who goes to school and depends on parents or guardians for food, shelter, and education, they are also considered in the group of the dependency load because their needs are met by adults who are part of the workforce. And then the quality of life in a society refers to how healthy, happy, and successful people are. So one important factor of quality of life is health. Okay, this is often measured by life expectancy, and that just means life expectancy is the average number of years a person is expected to live. When life expectancy is high, it means people live longer, healthier lives, which helps improve the overall quality of life in that society. So Canada is known for having a high life expectancy, again, because of the factors that we have access to good health care, a clean environment, and a high standard of living. For example, Canadians generally have access to medical services, we have access to nutritious food and opportunities for physical activity, all of which contribute to their well-being and happiness. Looking at the new figures that were released by Statistics Canada show that the number of Canadians aged 100 or older has increased from 1,065 in 1971 to 9,545 in the 2021 census. Most Canadian centenarians, so centenarians means 100 years old, 7,715 are women. Okay, we're going to end off here by looking at the ecological footprint. And an ecological footprint just means it's a way to measure the demand a person places on the environment. So this would include the things you eat, so the types of food that you eat, the energy they use, the waste they produce. So a larger educational ecological footprint means a bigger demand on the Earth's resources. And then a smaller footprint means a lighter impact on the environment. So what you could do is you can actually go to Canadian Living and do the quiz that says what's your ecological footprint, or you can look at some of the questions here. For example, they're all multiple choice. How often do you drive? During the winter, what temperature is your furnace set to while you're at home? So is it 22 degrees or higher? For A, 21 degrees, 20 degrees, or D, 19 degrees or lower. How often do you eat animal products like meat, poultry, fish, dairy, and eggs? So again, there's 4 choices, A, B, C, and D. How do you cool your house in the summer? What steps do you take to limit water usage in your home? And then the second part is true or false. Number 2 question, I fly once or less per year. Number 5, my household of 4 produces less than half a can of garbage each week. Number 10, I live in an apartment or condo or in an energy efficient house shared with other people. So then what you do is you add your score. So in the first part, you would add scores. If you answer A for number 1, it will give you 4. If you answer D in number 2, that would give you 4. So let's say, just out of let's just do this. So that's 8, 9, 10. So 10 for part 1, and then say in part 2 I answered add 1 point to your score for each true answer. So let's say there were 10 questions in part 2. Let's say I had 10, so I answered point or true for each question, so now I have 20. That would give me a medium footprint. It says nice job, Green Queen, you're definitely doing your part and is appreciated by future generations. So that's what that ecological footprint quiz is about. So if you go to Canadian Living and go to that quiz, that's the questions that you will see. So you could do some simple steps to reduce your ecological footprint. So for example, don't drive when there is an alternative. Reduce energy use just by turning off all electrical appliances when you're not using them. Eating local, organic, and in-season foods. Again, this might be a challenge if you're living up north, not getting locally grown food. Eat less meat and dairy. Again, do what's best for you, and then use less water, trying to be more conscientious about how you use your water. So there's also a video that you can watch that explains it all regarding ecological footprint. And then you can do key question 11. Okay, what is urban geography? So this is what we looked at. So urban geography means, again, a hand question. You can find the answer in your book. Okay, that's it for today. And again, have a good Thanksgiving weekend. Miigwech.